What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here with Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got a very special guest here with me, Beau Winters, the owner of GymPods. Beau, thank you so much for being with me today. You ready to get into it?
I am, yes.
Let's do it. All right, so Beau, tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind GymPods and why it's a little bit different than traditional gyms.
Yeah, so this might be a little long answer. I'll try to keep it brief. But first, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. So GymPods and where we are today is actually a pretty long story. I'll keep it as brief as I can. It started probably 10 years ago when I was in college and I read the book, Strength and Strength Training by Mike Matthews. It's like a classic in the strength training world. Okay. And I decided to read this book. I'm gonna go to the gym at Washburn, because I was at Washburn at the time, and work out, right? So I get there and I'm the only woman at the time in the weight training section. There were no other women. And I'm trying to learn how to do all these different moves. I don't even know what they are. I'm reading a book. This is before Instagram Reels and all of the content there is now when it comes to gyms and lifting weights. And so I watch some YouTube videos, I get to the gym, and I'm trying to figure out how on earth I do these things. And I feel like a total fool, and I was super embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want to do this in front of all of these people who clearly know what they're doing. You could tell it was athletes and people who had, been working out probably for a very long time. So it was really hard. It was really awkward for me, but I stuck with it for probably a month or two. And I actually loved the weight training part of it. Absolutely hated working out in front of the other people. And so I was like, this is, painful. I don't like doing this in front of people. It's super awkward. So I eventually quit, stopped working out, just decided I'd ride my bike or walk or whatever. And then a year later, I'm in Manhattan, same thing. I'm like, I really want to get into strength training. I really liked it. I enjoyed the workout, and I was like, I'm just gonna try again. Maybe it's not so bad. So I go to the K-State Rec Center. Again, I'm the only woman in the entire weight training area. And I remember I was gonna do leg press, and I needed to work in because there was 7 guys all hogging the leg press machine, just working in, taking turns. And so I sat there, I'm doing my workout, 45 minutes later, still can't get to the leg press machine, and it was just really frustrating. It was so busy, super nice gym, of course, beautiful, but really, really busy, tons of guys. And again, I was like, I hate this, I can't do this. And so I stopped. And this ended up just being a theme over 10 years time, right? Where it was I liked weight training, I liked lifting weights, but I hated working out in the gym. And then I got to a point where, as you guys probably all know, there became this huge emphasis on glute training, right? And hip thrusting. And I'm like, I want to do this. I want to get all the glute gains, the booty gains or whatever. And so I ended up putting together a workout routine and going to the gym, and I was going to try to do it. And I could just not bring myself to hip thrust in public. I'm like, why on earth is this something that is supposed to be natural to do in front of a whole bunch of other people, right? So I'll never forget, I was sitting on the couch with my boyfriend at my sister's house in Colorado, and I'm sitting there looking through trainers and different things in Manhattan, and I was like, I don't want to work out with a trainer, but maybe I can pay them to use their space. Maybe I can figure something out. And I was like, why is there not just a space that I can book and go work out in private? Why is that not a thing? Why do I have to go to a gym? I don't want to work out in front of people. So I actually was thinking about building my own gym in my apartment, but I'm very transient. I've moved to California and Virginia and back to Manhattan all within 3 years. So I was like, I don't really want to acquire tons of equipment, thousands of pounds of weights, if I'm gonna move, because I don't know where I'll land. And so I was just getting frustrated by it, and I was like, maybe is there anything like this? So I started researching. I'm private gyms, bookable gyms. See, I said it was long. I'm sorry.
No. Don't apologize. This is intriguing.
Okay.
I love this.
Yeah, and so I was just, thinking about it, and I'm like, there's no gyms out there. I started researching, didn't find anything, decided to hire a researcher to do some market research for me. But the name GymPods had come in my mind because 5 years before, I'm kind of an entrepreneur, I have tons of ideas basically. And a while ago, I was like, they need to have a thing that's for sleeping, that's a little pod that I can just get into, and it's temperature controlled and dark and quiet and really cold. And I was like, it would be like a sleep pod. So anyway, the word pod had been on my brain because of that idea. Obviously I never did that because it was didn't have the energy to do all that. But anyway, so GymPods popped in my head because of that previous idea. And so I was like, could be called GymPods. So I went ahead and reserved the business name on the Kansas, website. And then when I got the research back, it was like 7 pages. It was actually really generic, not the best research. It was just kind of about, the fitness industry in general. But one of the things that it showed was there's a company in Singapore called the GymPod. And they were using storage containers to do something very similar to what I'm doing. And so I went and looked at their website and everything. I didn't like their branding, their colors. Like, another thing about me is I'm huge on like vibe and aesthetics, and I like bright spaces. I want to like relax. I want to feel calm. I don't like bright colors or anything chaotic because it's just stressful to me, I guess. Yeah. And so I looked at their website and I was like, I wouldn't even want to work out there because I don't really like it. I mean, I would if I had to because it's a better option than the public gym. But I was like, maybe I can do something and improve what they're doing. And so it was really helpful because it kind of validated the idea, right? Like, there's obviously some demand in the market for a solution like this if a company in Singapore had hundreds of these things in Singapore. So anyway, that's kind of the backstory. I ended up just looking around. I had a really hard time finding a commercial space, and then found this space. They were amazing. They worked with me as a new business, knowing that, I didn't have any revenue. I couldn't show you anything yet because I was just opening up, and they were outstanding. It was in Boyer Enterprises owns this space. And so that's how I found the space. And once I had the space, I was like, I guess I'm doing it. I signed a lease, so I have to make it happen now. And so, yeah, that's the full background. We opened in December, and here we are. So Thank you.
No, that's amazing. I didn't realize that this was all, lack of a better term, a brainchild of yours. I thought it was more of a bigger piece of that. So that's fantastic. That makes the story even better, I think. So that's awesome. That's fantastic that you pulled all of that from your own. So no, congratulations on that. And let's keep going into it then. Yeah. With all of this stuff that you've got coming here, you've got this beautiful space, like you said, bright area, all that kind of fun stuff. How does the private gym model actually work? And what are the benefits for people like yourself that want to work out in private? And then we've also talked off camera, Neurodiverse, and what that looks like. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So how it works is you book the space. We have an app, and when you sign up, you'll have access to the app. You download it, and you just reserve a time period in a 30-minute to 2-hour increment that works for you. You show up, you use your app to actually check into the space, and then you have the space entirely to yourself. Nobody else will be able to access the space or book it while you have it. And I think kind of going into what you said about neurodiversity, one of the ways that I think it really supports that community is a lot of people are sensitive to being in crowds or in really loud spaces. And there's a lot of information out there if you ever research like neurodiversity and the gym environment. And so, it just provides a really quiet space. You could obviously put in headphones, you can make it loud if you wanted, but there's not going to be anyone else in here, and you can just focus on your workout. I think it's super beneficial for people who are new to weight training because you can come in here and you can look a fool while you figure it out, and no one's going to judge you, right?
Do your hip thrust.
You can do your hip thrust, you can do whatever you want, you can, figure it out, and you don't have to be afraid or worried. And so I think one way that it will possibly really help people is newbies, and maybe they'll graduate on to working out in a public gym. Maybe they get comfortable and you feel good. You're like, oh, I know how to do everything. I'm an expert now. I'm going to go work out in a gym. I think, it's a great solution for just helping people get into it, or maybe providing the space that just makes you feel comfortable to work out. So,
yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. So, all right. So then kind of keeping on it all with the memberships and what does all that kind of stuff look like? Obviously, you said that you've got a 30-minute session to 2 hours is the max. Exactly. Am I, as a member, if I sign up for GymPods, am I as a member paying for 30-minute segments? Am I paying for, what does that look like? And then what does the actual monthly membership look like?
We have 4 membership options. The first membership option is Flex, and that one is $20 per month, and you are not in any contract in that one, so you can cancel with the 30-day notice, no big deal. The next one is Loyal, which is $50 per month, and you get 4 hours included, and then you just pay for any additional time that's needed. I'll go into the prices a little bit on each of those. The last is Casual, and that is $99 a month for 12 bookable hours, and then additional any time you want to book, you can. So the Loyal membership is good for anybody who plans to work out here as their primary gym. Like if you want to work at a GymPods on a regular basis, that one will be the best bang for your buck. But if you just maybe are traveling, you come to town once in a while, or you just need a space when your gym is super busy and you don't want to work out on, a peak gym time, the Flex membership is a really good option because it's just $20, and that would be 1 hour and then any other time you want to book as you want. And it ranges from $5 to $10 per 30 minutes, depending on your membership and depending on the time of day. So if you want to work out in the middle of the night, it's much cheaper. It's $5 per 30-minute increment. Yeah. So it's kind of complicated. I would highly recommend just going to our membership page on our website, and you can compare everything side by side.
I see a Peloton right here. Yeah. I see a lot of additional equipment here. So talk to us about what you guys offer here at GymPods.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'll kind of start and I'll work my way up from what we have. So we have a functional trainer and a cable machine back there. Then next is the hip abduction machine. Next to hip abduction, we have a leg press hack squat combo machine. And then I use it it's called a lunge machine, I believe, but you can use it for a lot of things. You can use it for deadlifting. It's really good for Romanian deadlifts or Bulgarian split squats. And then next to that one, we have the Smith machine, which is my favorite. When I used to work out in a public gym, I would want to do my entire workout on the Smith machine, basically. So Smith machine, and then we have a power rack here. And we have tons of weights. So I was trying to build for your craziest, most strongest person ever. How much weight could they possibly need? Sure. So there's well over 1,000 pounds in here. I think there's 1,500 pounds of weights. That's not even going to fit on a bar. So I don't know in what world you would need to do that, but it is a possibility, especially maybe for leg press. There's tons of weights. And then we also have the Peloton. And then we have dumbbells. They're actually snowed dumbbells, so they're the adjustable. They go up to 80 pounds in 10-pound increments, and then there's 5-pound additions you can add if you want to do 15 pounds or 25 pounds. So, and then over here we have a bunch of accessories for hip thrust. We have a little hip thrust platform, and then we have steps, and we have a trap bar over here. So. Oh, and then I forgot there is the glute ham developer at the end there. So. Yeah, that's all of it.
So about anything you would need if you want to work out, you can have it. So whether it's a bike, I guess treadmill. You don't have a treadmill. That's the next one.
Okay, so the reason we don't have a treadmill is I'm who wants to pay for time and then run?
That's fair.
But I might be wrong. So we have definitely entertained getting a treadmill. We probably will. And we'll see if people use it, right? Because if I have an hour,
put it in the comments if you wanted to get some treadmill here.
We have a jump rope because I'm if I'm gonna do cardio, I'm not gonna want to I'm not gonna want to spend my time in this space paying per the hour doing cardio. But maybe I'm wrong, so tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Let her know. You've been in the community now for about 7 years or so. I think a lot of what we talked about a lot off camera is what you love about Manhattan is the local business, local community, all that kind of stuff. What do you see with your community impact, what you can do for our community, and then what you are currently doing?
GymPod's mission is to make fitness accessible to everybody. And so I think there's a lot of college students here in Manhattan. There's military folks. We have a pretty diverse community. And with that goes people who have diverse needs and, maybe need a private space to work out or have been hesitant to, become more healthy and more fit and strong. And so that's how I see GymPods helping out the community is just offering, making fitness more accessible to those who maybe have not previously been comfortable working out in a gym, and this gives them an option to increase the likelihood that they'll stick to their fitness goals or maybe begin a new fitness routine that they have been interested in and hesitant to take the leap. So
well, and I think that giving the space or giving this opportunity for people that don't or are intimidated by the public gyms and the public, like going to Genesis or going to all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, you talked about Instagram Reels. People record people all the time on Instagram Reels where they're doing silly things because they don't know what they're doing. But this space allows them to be able to get into that and kind of grow for that. So I think that in itself is fantastic for what you've got here too. So
it's a safe space, I think.
A safe space for getting healthier. Yeah. Obviously a new business, and I can't even tell you how excited I am to know that it's brand new because I thought it was a franchise type thing. So I think it's, again, kudos to you for that. But what challenges have you come across whenever you have been getting this thing off the ground? Obviously you did your 7-page market research and everything that came with that, but what challenges have you found?
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenge that I've seen is honestly, and it's such a good lesson to an entrepreneur or to anybody who wants to start a business, is just because people are excited about the idea doesn't necessarily mean they're going to just jump in. So I had a ton of people on our wait list. Our wait list was really long, and so it made me expect that we were going to have just tons of members right away, right? And of course that's not the case. It's more of a slow grow. So we have seen consistent growth month over month, but definitely was misleading to me having all of these people on our wait list and then not actually translating to members when we opened. So that was a big challenge, really good learning opportunity, right? Because I was oh, okay, I probably had unrealistic expectations. And then I think the other big one has just been trying to find the best way to reach our market, right? Because it's a pretty niche group of people. It's not just anybody who's interested in fitness, right? Because, there's tons of people who are totally fine with going to a gym. So I kind of look at it as introverts in the neurodiverse community or maybe fitness influencers who are getting in trouble for recording their workouts at a public gym, or the newbies, right? So we have a pretty specific group of people we're targeting, and just being able to find those people, figuring out the best channels and how to get the word out there is always a huge challenge. So appreciate Kyle so much in doing things like this. This is super needed for any new business in the community.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you hit it there too. I mean, there's so many different little spots that you have. Yeah. This would be great for. So sign up. Okay, so you've been in this space now in December, started this past December. So what is that, 7-8 months now?
Yep.
You're rolling, you're getting things moving as far as this goes. What are the future plans for GymPods?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the first time we're making this announcement because we haven't said anything previously. We're actually moving to the Manhattan Town Center. And so we're really excited about that. One of the big reasons is just to, get more traffic, get it in a more visible location. I don't know how many people I meet who don't even know we exist yet. And I run a lot of ads, and there's only so much money you can spend on ads, right? Sure. So I'm I need to find more organic ways of growing. And so we're going to move to the Manhattan Town Center. They have been amazing, so accommodating over there. So really good resource to any small businesses who are looking to start and, looking for a space that's going to accommodate their needs as a new business. And then the other plans we have is we are definitely exploring opening in other locations. So we would likely look at Kansas City or somewhere close, probably within 200 miles. So we've thought about Tulsa, Omaha, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, of course. So those are some cities we have our eye on. We're still trying to decide if there's really a demand there. But yeah, definitely have plans to grow if we think it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So expansion on the horizon. I like it. I know, I like it. That's fantastic. I guess let's move on to then, before we kind of wrap up with everything, is there anything else that you would like anybody watching this video today or anything else that you would like them to know about GymPods and what you guys do here?
Yeah, absolutely. So something that we get asked a lot and people are really surprised about is we do not charge extra for bringing a guest. So you could have 10 of you working out in here if you wanted to. It might be kind of crowded, but that's totally your prerogative. Or if you're a fitness trainer and you have clients, we aren't going to charge you any extra. You're going to pay the same price as anybody would, and you can maximize your time by having a whole bunch of people in here at once. Sure. So that's a big one. And the other one is we're dog friendly. So people are always really shocked, but you can bring your dog, and people do bring their dogs and they work out in here with their pups. I could see that being a bigger thing in the winter, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's another one. So I think those are our two biggest things people are shocked about, is that you can bring people and then you can bring your pets too. Yeah. So yeah, I think that covers it all.
See, the dog treadmill would be a thing. There you go.
Maybe we need a dog gym.
There you go. Put a dog little obstacle course in here. It'd be perfect. No, and that's awesome. Same thing. I didn't realize that you could do all that too. So, okay. So before we finalize, I've got a couple more things here, but I want to ask this one too. So if anybody watching this video is curious about you guys, how do they get a hold of you? Do they go to the website, phone call, emails? What's your contact information, and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So if you want to get a hold of us, go to our website. You can shoot us an email. We have an email address at the bottom. It's admin@thegympods.com. You can also message us on Instagram or Facebook. We're responsive on anywhere we have a social media platform, we're going to be responsive. So we also have a FAQ section that honestly covers almost any question we've ever been asked. So I would highly recommend just checking that out. And that'll give you a really good overview of probably everything you need to know. If you have special requests or accommodations or anything like that, please let us know. I love hearing customer feedback, so if there's something you would like to see here and it's not here, please let us know. And yeah, we'll take it into account.
Okay, awesome. Final one is, as an entrepreneur, what has been one of the most challenging things that you've run across, or what would you like to give people before we sign off here?
Yeah, so there's so many challenges, I guess, with entrepreneurship. It's hard to think of just one. I think that, it becomes really important to like connect with your customers and have a thorough understanding of, what their needs are, what their biggest challenges are, before you take the next step, right? And so I think just having that really in-depth understanding of their needs is really, really important, because you'll always learn something that you're shocked by. And it's so much better to validate like an assumption before you open a business. So I would say that's a really good lesson. I mean, I'm super excited. It's worked out for us, but it's definitely something to think about, that if I could rewind and do again, I'd probably spend a little bit more time researching, investigating, maybe do some dry wallet tests, as they call it in like the product management world, and kind of make sure I have a really, really good understanding and set my expectations accordingly. So that would be my advice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, well, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it. Beau, thank you so much for jumping on with me. I hope it's been as unpainless or less painless, I guess. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you do enjoy this content, please go and hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit share the button so you can share this video with anybody. Go ahead and hit that like button so you can help us out with the channel as well. And please, 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 if you know somebody who think this would be a perfect thing for, please share this video with them. Please get them in touch with Beau. I want you guys to come down here. It's a beautiful space. I think that's, again, I can't say this enough. The fact that it's of your own brainchild is fantastic. So I think it's amazing. And you guys will enjoy it here. There's all kinds of stuff that you need. I would venture to say that there's probably something here that you could use on any different level here. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you need anything, please let me know. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week in next week's episode.